All right. Anyway, hi everyone. All right.
Good
No,
morning, good
no, no.
night, and what time y'all, where time zone y'all at? Welcome. This is.
Yeah, that's where you're gonna start. That's how you're gonna start it.
Come on!
No, no, y'all
Okay.
fuck me up. I'm gonna fuck you up.
Come on, I was trying to be polite.
Oh.
Good morning, good evening, and good night wherever you are in the world, and welcome to Fantasy in Review. There you go. That's
There,
how you start.
you gonna host?
He won.
This
So.
this
I know. That's
this
why I'm
week,
asking.
this session we're doing here today will be discussing specifically mechs from the Titanfall universe, though
Probably
mechs.
Titanfall 2
Well,
specifically.
no, Titanfall and Titanfall 2. If you're going to talk about the
No,
Titans
I know.
from
I said
Titanfall,
probably Titanfall 2 specifically because
I
there's more mechs.
I mean, they were the same mechs. It's just technically, it's like the evolution of them. You had the dinosaurs of Titanfall 1, and then the dinosaurs which they evolved into the chickens and birds and lizards of Titanfall 2. It's just the genus to fuck. I can't remember the term, but basically that's the evolution of. You have the 3 stars. You have
Are we
the
still talking about Power Rangers?
I was confused.
Yeah, he started talking
There's
like
three-
that, and I'm like, you got me thinking Power Rangers.
to start off. There were 3 original form mechs from Titanfall 1.
Yeah.
There was the ogre, which was the heavy, the big fat boy that had a metric shit ton of health but was super slow. It was basically unkillable unless you were fighting a bunch of fucking little guys throwing shit at you, or a bunch of other mechs jumped you all at once. Then there was, if I remember right, it's the Atlas. I might be incorrect. I'll have to double check that. And then the final one is the nimbler, more lighter, basically the assassin light frame Titan. That is basically, if you looked at the limbs, looked like a bunch of pieces of rebar that happen to have actuators in between to allow it to move. And then you had the Atlas, which was the middle ground.
It's all about lightweight, man.
Dude, no, that was actually I actually really liked it because they also gave it like almost stealth plating from like jet fighters in the design for like the lightweight one. It looks like if you tried to ping it on radar, it would like come up the size of a fucking dinner plate.
Alright, so let's see here. Yeah, we're finally back. It's been a while. Lot of life events mixed in with
Work events.
schedule changes due to
Yeah.
all 3 of our schedules have completely shifted. So
Some good, some bad, and some.
just all over the place. We're back. Don't worry. We plan to stay back this time. We're gonna try.
Hopefully.
You
can't promise nothing. You can't,
No, but what I can promise is I have bonus episodes that will be on the way to make up for the lost time as well, between guests and different subjects. So look forward to those in between.
God willing, we will be making more. That is the statement I am giving. God willing, we are going to be making more.
Yeah. So long and short of it, welcome back. We're Fantasy in Review. So, how would you like to start off this episode?
Oh yeah, that's David. This is Dom, and I'm Dom.
Oh yeah, look, we're rusty. All right.
I know. I just thought about that too.
You can find Dominic at.
Oh no, that we do that at the end.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
well, they gotta. This is in case we get new people too. Shout out to the viewers in Belgium because you are almost half of our viewer base.
Holy
Wow.
Next,
Belgium? What the hell? Dude,
Ne-
you guys' waffles are fucking dope.
and that's
Why do
that's
everybody think Belgium for waffles?
because
Like, really?
because there's literally waffles called Belgian waffles,
it's-
and they're the fluffier ones, so they're substantially better.
It's
So-
the Belgian waffle, and then it's the F-2000 machine gun.
That is
you.
true. That is true.
I appreciate
Priorities.
I appreciate it. Bro, you ask for a decent fucking firearm that looks like something out of science fiction, they got you. You ask for a nice pastry that works for breakfast, they got you.
But long and short of it, we're back. We plan to stay back. We'll try and stay more on top of it. I'll be rewarding you with free bonus episodes in between. Well, yeah, we're free right now, but usually bonus episodes are something that most podcasts do on Patreon. We will not be doing that until we get at least a decent basis, in which case,
First come, first serve.
well, no, it's more of once we get a bigger fan base, then we'll try and branch out to that. That way we can guarantee more podcasts, because being able to earn a little bit of money to be able to help produce this, especially with the money I've put into just the equipment for this.
Bro, this isn't a fucking Burger King. This is not first come first serve. This is a podcast.
What Burger Kings are you at?
I know. Hold on. I need
you
to find that Burger King.
Bro, you never been to a Battle Royale Burger King? That shit's wild. You fight for the fucking first burger you can get to.
Dude,
I took out a fucking grandma. It was great.
Sound like Walmart on Black Friday.
So the hardest thing right now is, DeMarcus, you are normally the quietest on every single one, and it's hard to hear you, no matter how your audio is adjusted. Yet somehow you're the only one that keeps making that fucking thing peak.
Oh shit!
So somehow you're the one making it peak, but you're always the quietest one whenever we upload.
That's
So
because I think he turned his mic up, and because he's laughing so
his
much.
mic was maxed the last time we did it, and he was the quietest one. I think it's
Well,
this
maybe-
time he's
maybe that-
actually holding his mic to his
his
face
face.
the whole time.
My face.
Yeah, that's actually it.
And
Yeah, that's it.
possibly, because
I'm talking from here and I can hear myself, and then as soon as I come in here, it's like, oh, okay, I got it.
yeah, but even like on our louder end, where me and you are like laughing and yelling, it just doesn't. I think his laugh is high enough pitch
Yeah.
where whenever he laughs into the mic, it just immediately peaks it.
I got a lower pitch. I got one of those.
I mean, you got a low pitch. It's just your laugh has spikes in it.
I'm not gonna touch that. Not gonna touch that.
Touch it with a cattle prod.
Just electrocuted.
All right. How do we want to start this? Do we have anything prepared? I know I have 3 reviews that I wrote forever ago when we originally planned this. DeMarcus has not played Titanfall at all. So feel free to ream him about that one.
Here
As long
comes
as you don't give false information, I'm pretty
I
much...
will not give any information because most the Mechs
Have you looked up any of it? Like,
Yeah.
Mechs
He
or Titanfall?
looked
Okay.
into it so he could at least know like a basis to stand on. So then when we talk about it, he could join in.
But-
Do you have anything prepared, host, or do you want us to just kind of go into what
I was right. It was the Atlas. Damn, I put that on a fucking I was shooting in the dark for the name of that. The Atlas is the medium. So, okay. So, for the basis of this, I chose the Titans or Mechs from Titanfall 2, which who here when you think of the word mech, what comes to mind here? I want to get to Marcus's. And then I'm going to get to you.
I already know his.
But I want to hear it.
Gundams.
Yeah, exactly.
So what does that mean to you by saying, oh, well, Gundams? Yeah, it's a Gundam, but like what a mech? Because a mech can be
Either there's two ways I think about Gundams, and my other one, the Megazords.
So you're
In other words, piloted.
So a pilot now piloting.
No,
Can
not
be,
all
now,
of them.
Piloting can be described as 2 ways for this. This can
Remote
be piloting,
or
remote or direct control.
Yeah.
Well, mech's no fun if it's not direct
It's
control.
not-
But you
no,
don't
no,
die,
no, 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 no. A mech can be fun being direct or remote controlled. The difference is that the speed and effectiveness of the mech is
Goes
better
up when it's drone.
when it's not when it's drone, but when
no,
you're
when
directly
it's
controlled.
manning it, because then it goes off your reactions in
but-
time.
Depends on how far you are, too. If
I
you-
also love the fact that in the what's the word I'm looking for here? The direct contrast between how like a mech from Titanfall would work and a generalized Gundam works is that most Gundams have it set up to where it's directly like fucking jacked into your nervous system,
That's-
your cerebral core,
that's
and like
you're talking about,
you
like-
also wear like a basically the
helmet.
the most either a helmet or a helmet plus the basically God's smiteful fucking haptic feedback suit that makes you feel
That's
pain.
something like 00 or Double O's Gundams.
Yeah, but you're either wearing a helmet that allows you to get a visual feed of like of AR,
Yeah.
augmented reality, of like the feedback loop of all the cameras that you can't see on the mech. They're basically hidden behind plexiglass
Yeah.
and like plates that you can't
Random
see
add
through.
in. Since think of how Titanfall mechs are, right? Now think of the Iron Man suit. Now think of the Hulkbuster.
The Hulkbuster is a mech.
I was
Technically,
gonna
Iron
say,
Man's
that's
Iron
just,
Man
that's
suit
just
is
a
a
mech. Like,
Yeah.
But
So-
that's also like technically speaking, javelins from what was the name of that game again? That died.
there's a lot of things called javelins.
the javelin mech suits that were used by the javelin pilots that were called freelancers from
Oh my God, you're talking Anthem.
Anthem,
them,
dude.
yeah.
Or
the
what was so close to being perfect
Or-
if they would have just tweaked a couple of things, but then EA went, hey, I'm gonna just cut the umbilical cord now and watch it die.
Well, I mean, it still wouldn't have been perfect because
And-
I mean, the game was like look at
Turn
this
off the
open world-
cooldowns on flying, and that was literally I could have just flown around for hours.
Because like it's literally the flying thing. Yeah, that was irritating. But also, it's like it made it seem like, hey, look at this big old open world, and then it's like, oh, it's actually a small condensed map that is like one of the smallest maps you could ever fucking do. And it's like that's the whole game. The rest of the map is just entering dungeons. It's like, well, that sucks.
and
a little bit.
how
That game's a bust.
also if you think about how from Titanfall mechs are not, and how the old school Gundams like
Now-
G Gundam, not G Gundam, but Wing Zero, and like the older school mechs, the original Gundam mechs,
Yes.
are more like
Now,
Titanfall. 'Cause-
now the difference here between a Titanfall mech and the main difference that I feel is very important to point out is that a Titan from the Titanfall universe is extremely powerful, but is almost useless without its pilot.
yeah,
I mean, it's got
Now,
the AI
now,
and
the
everything
difference
for
with
it, but-
pilots is that pilots in Titanfall for the Titans are basically there's been a bit of speculation on this, and they never really brought it up and like said directly yes or no to this, but they're basically like just toned down, crack wired fucking
Super soldiers.
super soldiers.
Yeah.
They're basically not even like super soldiers. They're also like
I mean, some of them are literal
augmented
robots.
humans, and they're
Yeah.
they're like
Augmented humans, robots, and then like
technically it's an AI piloting an AI, which I don't like the concept of that because that just sounds fucked up. Although I'm not sure if it's actually AI or a downloaded subconscious added in to a suit, because that's what
Yeah.
I've understood is it's one of the main bad guys you fight in there is I forget her name, something Viper.
I actually
It's,
don't know much of the lore in
Dude,
Titanfall because I just never fucking
Bro,
dove into that.
Dude, it's just fucking power fantasy of America. Fuck yeah.
I'll trust-
Fuck the freedom. Fuck the guys wanting to take my freedom. Fuck you.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
glorious.
100%. My first review, what I do remember is because I'll segue into that because it's hilarious. Is I essentially did it from a standpoint of like after the battle, if the mech doesn't completely implode, which it, in game it does for obvious reasons, but like a defeated mech, or say the mech was roaming around and got left behind because the pilot was murked and the mech was crippled. I did a review from the standpoint of an American redneck getting a hold of a mech in the equivalent of a junkyard and doing his own repairs.
that's
to
not
it.
like some was it steel battle
So that's-
real steel.
Yeah, so that's also the thing that's very unique about these mechs is that they have a neural sync.
Yeah,
And it's not like a direct like connection like, oh, I have to be jacked in. It's that basically when the pilot enters the cockpit of the fucking Titan, their brain just like brrr, and they get put into the mech. And they don't feel any pain. They don't feel like, oh, I've got my arm just got ripped off as the mech. You don't feel that. Though I would assume that when you would leave,
haptic
you would have haptic feedback, leave the fucking mech and be back in your own body and go, oh, and suddenly have the instant pain of I had my arm ripped off. Oh, it's still there. Oh, okay.
So it would be something like Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim, but
Wait.
it's also delayed because that's also what I fucking love is it's also the helmets the pilots wear work the same way like how Master Chief's works.
Dude,
It's so fucking good, and I
well,
love
and
that
especially
they did that.
the mechs can like
They-
speak to you even when you're not inside of them.
Yeah.
So basically, your mech is basically your Cortana.
Except for Cortana's got a huge fucking upgrade because it can run around and kill shit on its own.
Yeah, it's
That
it's
is
not
true.
even, This is why I want to play one of my fucking new favorite fucking tabletop games that I have yet to get a chance to dive into fully physically.
Yeah.
Is fucking.
We only played a little bit of it, but it's Lancer, if I remember right.
Yeah.
We never played it. We never touched on it.
We literally dove into it for like a session of like.
I don't remember this then.
Yeah,
never
actually, I
played
think it was either one or like 3 sessions. It was some short span where we just kind of like did the mechanic wise of it and kind of like
we
with
like
it.
looked at like making mechs in it with Elijah, and then we never played. That's what happened.
No, we didn't make mechs. We did like a sampler of like how the gameplay works, like
Oh,
in
that's
town
right.
and stuff like that.
Right. Of like we tested how the mechanics worked, but we never actually
exactly.
played. My bad.
So
yeah, we technically played, but that's like basically getting Big Brother handing you the controller, going, "Oh yeah, sure, I gotta go take a piss. Here, walk around." Okay, that's
much,
basically what we did.
So,
But okay,
yeah.
I want to hear your review first, DeMarcus, because
you don't have any. Remember?
Oh, you don't have a single review?
No, he doesn't know Titanfall, and he is not.
So you didn't even review it or look it up?
I looked it up, but
he looked it up like a couple times and hasn't really.
All right. Well, I want to hear.
Do you want to start? Because I have 2 that I feel like are good ones, and the one that's just kind of meh.
You want me to start then?
Well, no, that I was saying, like, which one do you want? Like,
Start
I could
with
do
meh.
the 2 good ones, or I could just
start meh and then build up.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll jump to the 3rd one because this one's just like meh. All right. I feel like the seat in the cockpit has the potential to be comfortable. I mean, it has cushions and it cradles you and with supports, but none of that matters when you're wearing armor, because obviously all the pilots have armor.
Oh yeah.
The supports are nice because they keep me from getting jostled around, but man, the cushions almost do nothing but provide heat. By the time the battle's over, you've got a whole swamp in the cockpit. I feel sorry for the one who has to maintain these things.
Ooh, swamp.
Yeah, supposedly, speaking of that kind of shit, they're so. I would assume, I don't know fully, but I would assume because these are things that you can also pilot in space and use as like with like their own vacuum sealing for going in like, oh, I'm doing an EVA mission of like, oh, we're dealing with like raiders on fucking asteroids and shit and trying to get rid of them. If you're in space, you're gonna be in space for like, oh, I might be here for like a few hours, bro. You're gonna have
days.
or fuck days. Yeah, you're gonna need 2 things. You're gonna need a way to shit. And piss and eat. I'm assuming they're gonna have like rations you can place in like cubby holes in your. That's fine and shit. But the thing is like I am assuming that these mechs have to have a way for you to use the facilities. And then my question is it like literally?
If it does, it would require a special suit because the pilot suits you wear do not have that. And
I
not much
100% believe that, bro. Like Cooper, who is the pilot from Titanfall 2, the main character you play in the show. If he were in this scenario, I'm assuming he just dropped trowel, go over to a specific hole. This is my thought. Like you literally press your ass into like a cubby hole that like vacuum seals like with like a silicone
So it sucks
cover,
the crap out of you.
and you like shit, and it pulls it out of you, and then it would eject it or store it. Either way.
See, I would imagine something like that where it's like an automated system where it's like 2-chambered, where it goes into a chamber, closes, then opens up to the exit. Yeah. Because I mean, if it just straight up opened, it would rip your intestines out.
No. This would be like I would assume to prevent that scenario and from preventing the mech having a weak point, because that would be a weak point on the mech of like, oh yeah, why would I aim for the face when I can try and find the shithole I can blast
the Japanese
a fucking
equivalent of finger blasting the ass.
Yeah, the mech. Yeah, bro, this is like really, bro. I can put my 40 millimeter fucking autocannon through that fucking hole and watch the pilot fucking blow up on his own shit. Yeah, I'd be doing that fucking left, right, and center.
Okay, so then does that mean the Death Star was shot in the asshole?
Yeah.
No, that's a different thing. That was an exhaust port. This is not an exhaust port. This is
technically
your asshole is your exhaust port.
No. This is literally the poop chute, not an exhaust port for venting excess heat. This is literally a fucking poop chute that is built into the mech.
Man, I really hope the plumbing's good.
Bro, that's why I would say it would have to be
shit down your pilot seat.
I would assume there would be like a storage unit that would be, in the belly of the mech that would store the shit, and then you would be like, all right, well, we got back to base. Time to drain the tank.
All right, I'm gonna regret saying this, and you guys are gonna hate me for it. But what I'm imagining right now is when you go to the dentist, they got that little suction straw for like.
Oh no 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 no!
They got
no.
one for the pilot seat for sucking out all the sweat and swamp.
Oh,
Oh,
dude.
It's
no,
no,
you're
no,
just
no,
sitting
no,
there
no,
and
no,
you're
no.
just
Totally, it's like-
here.
No, dude. I guarantee when they go in there, the mech just like, all right, clean me, and they fucking open up their chest cavity where the pilot goes in, and they basically just come in with like a fucking fire hose full of like solvent and shit, and just because that shit would be all covered and shit in there.
You gotta think the entire inside of a mech suit is completely encased and vacuum sealed, and it's gotta be hot as fuck in there wearing full armor.
no.
Even with AC, you're wearing full armor.
Bro,
in the heat of battle.
My brother in Christ,
constantly
one of the
moving around.
fucking mechs, which is my favorite
Dude,
from
the
Titanfall 2, is
entire
called
thing-
Scorch.
Yeah.
His whole fucking mechanic is I throw thermite and fucking white phosphorus and everything that is war crime based in our current times at other mechs. My brother in Christ, those fucking mechs, I'm pretty sure can't handle a 10,000 degrees blasting you in the fucking face for a few seconds. Going, literally, one of his main abilities is he pulls up a fucking, throws his hand out and pumps out a heat shield.
Yeah.
That looks like a fucking focused flamethrower.
That's hot enough
to melt
that
the
it
armor
melts
off
bullets.
It melts bullets on impact, which is terrifying to think about.
So
It's literally a plasma shield at that point. It
Yeah.
says fire, but that's just plasma.
That's just superheated fire.
Well,
I'm
yeah.
sad it doesn't come out white hot because that should be basically like
Right.
having a blowtorch in front of you. Which I'm surprised they didn't call it the blowtorch shield, because that's what you could do. You could just like have the mech go, all right, hold on, I can fix this.
Oh, there's a guy in front of me. Let me just melt his face.
Yeah, no. It's also what's I feel sad is because the mechs have cameras, which allows them to see. Bro, I fucking walk up and just grab that camera and go, fucking watch this shit, boo, and fucking melt the fucking camera, and then the guy's blind. But I also know that I would assume they would have
I imagine there should be
redundancies to
an execution.
redundancy. Oh, dude, there's
No, like not the normal one, but like one where you literally walk up and like kick out the leg of a mech, grab it by the face, and activate the fucking shield.
That's where I was going.
While you're holding their face.
there is actually a execution for that where you just like you
use your shield,
yes.
yes.
So you
but-
like shoulder bash it with
Yeah.
the scorch, and then you like shove your hand into the mech and then blow torch it with
Yeah.
your hand inside the mech. So you're basically liquefying the guy inside the mech,
Yeah.
which is fucked to think about. Scorch is basically just the most like if somebody
if there was a mech that is the most war crime, it's Scorch.
Yes.
that's me.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's fucked.
It's not like one of my favorite YouTube to watch. It's not a war crime. It happened the first time.
The first time it's not a war crime. That's just a test drive.
Yeah.
It's not a war crime until they declare it as one. So if you're the first one to do it, it's not a war crime until the court martial comes in.
Bro, the Geneva Convention was just Dad walking in and going, "Okay, no more poking each other in the eye. This is fair fight." And then when Dad leaves, everybody goes, "Yeah, Dad, fair fight." And then you go for his nuts immediately. That's
One thing I think by the Geneva Convention is a suggestion not to be followed.
No, the Geneva Convention is literally all right, this is the list of what we need to do as fast as possible, because as soon as we win using these tactics, we get scot-free, and the other guy loses and has to deal with the repercussions of doing all these things.
The winner always makes the law. But,
yeah, exactly.
But also, the thing is,
history is written by the victors.
But also the thing with that is it's literally like, all right, they essentially have it where the Geneva Convention is essentially just the person coming in to be like, hey, just remember, you're fighting for your family, they're fighting for yours, you're both humans. Because in war, it's literally just like, enemy, friendly. That's all that goes through your head. And the Geneva Convention is like, remember, they feel pain, and they aren't bad people that defend their own country. Like, you're doing the same thing. Do you know? And so that they're just the ones that walk in and go, hey guys, remember, even though we're out for blood, let's not torture each other while we're slowly murdering everyone. And it's like,
exactly, it wouldn't be fun otherwise.
it's like make sure it's slow. It's like, wait.
Oh,
bro, you seem to misunderstand. I want to make sure that guy's family knows he's about to get a fucking ramrod with a fucking
in Titanfall, that is
405 millimeter fucking auto cannon. Like, I don't care.
Titanfall, it's like, hey, we have an artillery shell that we're gonna pump into that one guy down there. It's like, isn't that the anti-tank rifle? Yeah, and that's Steve. We don't like Steve.
I don't like Steve at all. Bro, you can use the mechs to just stomp enemies like soldiers.
You can
It's
literally
fucked
walk up to a soldier and just fucking punch him in the face and splatter him across the ground. Like,
Imagine the torque of like a fucking giant mech walking up to you and just going boom and just crushing your fucking bones, meat, and juices into the fucking pavement. And when it pulls away, there's cracks in the pavement, and its fucking hand has not been bent at all, and you're just paste. That's just like
that's Titanfall.
That's Titanfall, the game. That's
Titanfall is literally all right. What if there was no Geneva Convention? That's it,
bro. I want them to do the fucking. There's an execution
they
where
put
Monarch.
mini nukes in the mechs, and they have mechs that are specifically designed to kamikaze and go nuclear when they do.
Yeah. Dude, there's a fucking execution that you can do with Tone, who is a medium Atlas frame Titan from Titanfall 2, where you grab the pilot out of the fucking other Titan, throw him in the air, and then you hip fire his fucking autocannon at the fucking pilot and blow him up. I'm like, dude, that is a 25mm autocannon you just used on a fucking infantry. You don't do that. But props for the hip fire shot, though.
Yeah, right.
But you're not supposed to do that. God, fuck, that game is just war crime central, but it's fucking great.
Does anybody have anything else they want to add before I go into another one?
Go ahead.
What about you, host? Got anything extra? All right.
Nope.
Then I'll jump into, I think this might be my favorite one because it's the redneck one. All right. Managed to steal one of them mechs we keep hearing about. Found it in a scrap heap. Needed a few repairs, but damn, I need a better AC unit. This thing's got me sweatier than two rats fucking in a wool sock. Tested it out, though, and let me tell you, this walking war crime decimates and cremates. Might see if I can weld with it, too. Praise be Redneck Engineering.
And also what's funny is technically Titans were not, from what I could understand from the first Titanfall, Titans were not like meant for like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be fucking murdering the shit out of people with these giant humanoid mechs. They were originally like farm equipment. They were meant for like logging companies and shit to make it easier to transport wood and breaking down materials and like helping with farming and like moving logs. They were literally meant to help with terraforming other planets in this universe. And then fucking basically Lockheed Martin plus Ultra showed up and went, yo, I can make these better. And they're like, you can make them run faster and help us more with logging? No, I can strap a fucking minigun to this thing's shoulder and tell you to fucking chew up that entire line of infantry for the next 1,000 yards. What? And they're like, shut the fuck up, I'm getting my work done. They're like, ah! And it was over. And then we got fucking Scorch and Tone and fucking Monarch and fucking god damn, there's so many of these fuckers. North Star, Ion,
Ronin,
dude, fucking Ronin's insane.
Legion.
Dude, everybody looks at Ronin and goes, oh yeah, he's got a fucking giant sword it's a giant titanium blade wielded by a mech. I'm like, my brother in Christ, that's cool and all. That's a sword. We've been using swords for thousands of years because when we first learned how to sharpen rocks,
a piece of technology that can wield a sword the size of your house and cleave your whole house in two. It's like, well, you just did the same thing you could do with about a minigun.
No, that's cool and all. My brother in Christ, I'm more worried about his literal fucking super shotgun with a fucking chain barrel or the fucking drum barrel called Lead Wall. It doesn't shoot fucking like a bunch of pellets. It doesn't shoot like a bunch of ball bearings. No, it just has shrapnel and fucking random junk thrown in there that it just gravity feeds through a fucking literal cube and throws it out. My brother in Christ, it's like literally if you just shoot up an entire house worth of like of steel and threw it out the front of a gun. Yeah, I'm like, which I don't understand.
It's a blunderbuss.
It's a blunderbuss on meth.
I think that's the reason I like Titanfall so much is because you see there's the generic mechs, right? Where they're big, they're slow. Jesus fuck. Sorry. They're big, they're slow, and then like they're clunky. They're heavy weapons, but they usually walk slow. They got like a small boost and stuff. And then you see the futuristic advanced mechs, and then you get like the ones that fly around at super speed, and they're like Gundams and stuff like that, and they're like crazy fast. They got skates, they move around, they're thin, they're sleek.
Yeah.
I like Titanfall because it's as if you took the old ones, like the old-fashioned style ones that like seem manageable, and then made them futuristic. Not as in the Gundam futuristic, but like in actual futuristic.
My brother
be
in
honest-
Christ, fucking Ronin, literally allows you to teleport between dimensions to dodge bullets. Instead of him being fast, he just goes, I go, blink, and then blinks out of reality into another the middle between realities, and then appears next to him. One of his executions is because of this ability. He hits the fucking enemy Titan, teleports, blinks, stands where the enemy Titan is, and then reappears. And because where he reappears and becomes back into reality, he explodes the other Titan, which is also an execution you could do as a fucking pilot on another human being.
Yep.
Think of that.
Yep.
You fucking grab a guy, stun lock him for a second because you fucking brained him, and he's just like, where am what? And then you fucking blink out of reality, and blink back inside his chest cavity. He just explodes.
But one thing I was thinking about, the Titan from Titanfall. If you think about it, what year were they?
What year does it take place?
Yeah,
Fuck, I don't know. Was it? I think it was like
it's
3,000 almost.
It's like 3242 or some shit. It's
Yeah.
like some crazy fucking number. Basically, none of us, our atoms will not exist in that timeline.
and if I'm
By
not
that
mis-
time,
if I'm not
the,
There's
du-
a-
the
there's a
dust from our
reason-
bones won't exist in that universe.
There's a reason why this latest generation's named Gen Z, because they're the last ones.
pretty much.
We went through the whole alphabet.
and if I'm not mistaken, Gundam is like 1,000 years
In the future, yeah,
past that.
yeah, dude,
Yep.
fucking. I also want to think like, imagine you're like a fucking like the farmer's kid, and your dad has his fucking cool mech tractor, and all of a sudden like the fucking IDF shows up, and they're like
Hey,
they're
we're
like,
confiscating your tractor.
we're commandeering your tractor, and they're like, and you're like, but that's Big John. You can't take Big John.
And
Big
they're like,
John
we're
helps us
strapping
with
miniguns to Big John,
we're
and he's
giving
going to commit
no,
war
no.
crimes
We're giving
for
Big
us.
John. We're giving Big John a war crime stick the size of a fucking Buick, and then we're gonna strap fucking.
What is a Buick?
And then we're gonna
Yeah,
strap.
this universe.
Yeah.
Do you even see cars attack?
Sorry, Buick. Sorry, a Buick. It's a fucking space brand, Buick. But no, and we're gonna also strap armor plating to him. We're gonna put fucking laser designators all over him, and we're gonna fucking give him enough fucking ammo racks on his back to fucking feed an entire army for the next 3 generations. But yeah, don't worry, you'll get Big
Don't
John back. It's like, bro,
Big John will come back.
like
You might just get his finger, but he'll come back.
But imagine that you're just one day like fucking minding your own business on your fucking planet, being like, I'm fucking colonizing and getting this shit ready and fucking terraforming, and then all of a sudden fucking space fucking militia shows up and goes, hey, yeah, we need your tractor. What? And they're like,
your
no,
tractor's being drafted.
Your
It's like
tractor-
my tractor's being drafted?
yeah, you're not being drafted. That's the other thing. These things are AIs, not VIs. Like, oh, I have no emotions. They can build connections. That's why they're also so fucking strong. The fucking AIs and these fucking mechs can build connections with their pilots so that their bond is stronger, so that they can work faster, work more effective. That is literally why rule number 1 for a fucking Titan is protect the pilot. Rule number 1 is protect the pilot. Rule number 2 is uphold the mission. I forget what rule 3 is. I'm pretty sure that's just have fun, but who fucking cares? Have fun and kill as many people as possible. Rule 3. That's my rule. Anyways, rule number 1 and rule 2. He states in the fucking first fucking scene when you interact with BT is rule number 1, uphold the mission. Rule 2, protect the pilot. And then I forget what rule 3 was. Or I think rule 3 was make it back alive or some shit.
I don't know.
Fucking literally the last scene is him being like, rule number 1, protect the pilot. And then he fucking throws him out of the fucking radius of the explosion and he lives. It's like, bro. That is why Titans are fucking so fucking powerful in that universe, is because they have a fucking wired connection and emotional connection to their pilot. It's like, it's the equivalent of why war dogs work. in modern military, war dogs
well, it's
still
hilarious
work.
too, because then if you take in like the multiplayer version of it, where it's like, oh fuck, my Titan blew up. Let me call another one.
But it's still the same Titan. That's the other thing. It's just the same AI chip.
I know that, but like it's hilarious to just think like, oh fuck, he blew up. All right, give me another one.
Dude, I feel bad that this is the only time I think I would ever say this. Is I would want the company to commission and pay the person who's doing these voices for the fucking different mechs, because each mech has its own voice. Scorch, all these different mechs have their own AI voices that talk to you, and they have voice actors. I want them to just pay like a fucking give them all right, you got a 3% like what the fuck was his name? My brain just up. Mr. John Wick. What the fuck is it? Keanu Reeves.
Oh, Reeves. Yeah.
When he did The Matrix. When he did The Matrix, instead of being like, I want a lump sum, he's like, I want, what was it, 3% or 4% of like the revenue from all the shit from this movie? And they're like, oh, okay. And they only said okay because they didn't think it would do that great. And then, now he's fucking filthy fucking rich because he just milks that forever. And he will forever because The Matrix is The Matrix. And I want these people that are like, okay, I cannot literally make dialogue for every single interaction possible that this fucking mech can have with the other things going on, but I want to fucking have the fucking moment from Halo of, pilot, we are surrounded 3-1. What do we do? And it's like, I want the pilot to go, 3-1, this is a fair fight. Yes. And then fucking, I want these interactions. That is what I fucking love.
I personally would love the interaction of it doesn't know what to say because it doesn't have all the voice lines.
Yeah.
So then you're just like, all right, status report. What's going on? And then it's like some crazy shit where there's like, for some reason, a horde of zebras on the fucking battlefield.
What the?
And then why would you ever
Space
think
zebras.
for a battle mech to have zebras in its vocabulary? So then it's just like, I do not have words for this situation. It's like, what do you mean? What's happening?
Also, that's also one of the fucking things I love about this is they add in randomly for no fucking reason. They add in their own like xeno species of like these weird like raptor bird dog like think of like giant panther coyotes with wings. They also have like lizard
trip.
that also have like lizard
Panther,
faces
coyotes
with
wings.
with wings that also have lizard like the faces of those fucking flying
chimera,
monsters.
a chimera.
It's like a fucked up chimera, yes, but no, it has the head of those fucking snake flyers from fucking Avatar. Has the body of a fucking no fucking.
You said chimera, and that came to mind, and I was like,
And one of the first scenes you see with BT being still alive after you get like ambushed is these fucking things jumping in and like chewing up what's left of your fellow survivors, and they're just like one.
he's one of the ones that didn't make it.
No,
I guess.
fucking, you see a guy like trying to crawl away, and then the fucking thing jumps over, shoves its claws into his back, and drags him off screen. You're like, oh shit, this is bad. These things are doing this, and they chase you after this, even after BT saves you. The next morning, you get up after BT saves you from these things, and they're still fucking hunting you. And they added this in for no fucking reason, and it never appears again. And I fucking love that. Anyways,
Ready for the third one?
third one, yes please.
All right. Let's see here. All right. Ready?
Yeah.
2 words.
One.
Freaking lasers! Rapid fire lasers, heavy hitting lasers, and even a chest beam to evaporate your enemies. Whoa! Because who doesn't love a good light show when decimating your enemies? Add on the fact your bullets mean nothing to my mighty morphin vacuum cleaner. And if I'm feeling really cheeky, trip mines. Good luck stopping me.
Yeah, it's really cool and all, but fucking Ion sucks in multiplayer, and I feel bad.
But Ion is so cool. Just
Ion is the coolest fucking
Ion.
one. Ion is so fucking cool, but they made all of the every single ability.
What?
You're still stuck on Mighty Morphin Vacuum Cleaner.
Ion is one of the fucking Titan mechs that you can pilot, but dude, the Ion is so ass. Every single ability is tied to the same cooldown system.
The cooldown system.
If you
sucks.
use one ability, all the other abilities are on cooldown.
You have
No.
It's not all the other abilities are on cooldown. You have a battery charge, and it recharges. But all of your abilities, it's like Warframe. You have a set amount of energy. only it recharges instead of you having to collect stuff. So you have a set amount of energy. Each ability uses different amounts of energy.
Okay.
So when you use it, you burn some of that, and then it takes a couple seconds, and then it slowly recharges. So if you use multiple abilities, you just drain it all. So then you have your abilities do have cooldowns, but they're
Tied to the energy consumption.
well, they're no like actual cooldowns outside of the energy consumption, and they're somewhat short because you could kind of just repeatedly use them.
The problem is also is tied to your fucking gun. The weapon that
your main gun uses that same energy bar. So if you're shooting, it slowly drains it. Then you have like an alternate fire where you shoot like almost like a shotgun blast.
Okay.
And
instead of, no, you split the beam. You split the beam from one blast of plasma to 3 blasts of plasma.
And then it drops your energy super quick, which means if you use that, you'll do a ton of damage, but now you can't use your abilities.
And what's also stupid with this is technically your fucking gun has a magazine and has a set amount of ammo you can use. So while you're shooting bullets out of your bullets or ammo out of your gun that has a battery,
it's a plasma gun.
It's a giant plasma rifle. You're also pulling energy from your other abilities, which means there's a shoulder-mounted laser, your hand force field that catches any projectile. So
it's
missiles,
literally a
bullets,
vortex, like a vacuum vortex.
It's a grab.
Yeah, I've seen that on the videos. I was like, that's kind of when people shoot at you, you just freeze it.
Any single projectile coming from any of the fucking enemies in front of you, you grab it. So there's missiles flying at you, bullets. It's funny when a fucking bunch of fucking little guys are shooting bullets at you, and then like a mech or two throws a tank shell at you and a rocket, and you just see the kaleidoscope of bullshit in front of you. You're like, oh, cool. And then you look back at the crowd of enemies and throw it back, and every single thing just blood mists from the fucking amount of bullets and bullshit flying back.
Okay.
It's really funny, and it's really cool, but it's also stupid.
Which is also tied to your energy bar.
So
if you go too aggressive, you no longer have a defense.
And if you run out of energy, even if your cooldowns are preset for everything, you can't use the fucking ability because the energy isn't high enough. So it's really stupid.
I guess Ion is basically a hit and run.
It's not even a hit and run. You can't do enough damage for the hit and run. You like sneeze at the guy, and that's it.
I'm saying not like the constant damage. You basically
Ion is like what you do when imagine you're hiding in the background, like where you're behind a building and you're like an assault trooper, where you just kind of peek out, shoot, and then you poke back. And that's kind of what you do. You peek out, throw down some landmines, and you retreat. It's constantly like you could stay in the fight, but you can only do so much before you cripple yourself, so you're constantly retreating. So the way I like to compensate that is there's a perk you could get, like the perks I was talking to you about, where your trip mines don't cost energy, and then it's just the trip mine cooldown. And I use that so then I could use the trip mines to retreat, do a ton of damage, or the enemy's smart enough to stay away from the trip mines.
And you're just doing area.
Ion is literally just constantly fire, retreat, fire, retreat, fire, retreat. So you're constantly losing ground. So you can be really powerful with Ion, but you're never pushing, you're always falling back.
Also, to put into
if
preference,
you get pushed too hard, you're done. You can't,
to put into reference what he's talking about with the trip mines, if you use the fucking trip mine ability at full energy, everything else shuts off. You basically have to run that ability if you want to ever use the trip mines, otherwise you just don't press triangle. Or whatever button on the keyboard does. Mines. You can't do that. It's literally just a suicide. You fucking throw them out, and it's like, can't do anything else.
It takes like 3/4 of your energy, so you can still use your gun, but your other abilities use just enough energy to where you have to wait like a couple seconds for it to regen that small bit before you can use a different one. And then if you use a different one, now you're out of energy.
And because of how they changed Titan health from Titanfall 1 to Titanfall 2, in those few seconds you could be dead. Your Titans could just blow up with you in it.
Which is why you're constantly on retreat.
And the other thing is, if you use the fucking gun to get away,
hit and run is more like you run up, you smack the enemy really hard, and you run. This is like, no, you have to constantly be hitting the enemy, or else you're doing no damage, but you're also constantly hiding from them. So it's not hit and run, it's retreat, cover, retreat, cover.
That's what I'm saying.
Hit and run is more aggressive.
You can do three types of hit and run. Like you say, aggressive. How I'm thinking about more of not doing a lot of damage. No,
Hit and run's more of the Ronin, where you're really quick, and because you're not the fastest when you're Ion, you're like mid speed.
Yeah.
Technically, you're aggro kiting somebody.
Yeah,
Piss
that's
them
what I'm
off.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not hit and running. You're just like, ooh, I'm poking you. Ooh, I'm poking you.
That's
You can't
what-
hit me.
yeah.
that's
Ooh,
what
I'm
I'm-
poking you. You
that's what
can't
I'm
hit me.
saying.
That's what you're doing.
Basically trying.
You're just
Oh,
pull. You're
Against AI, Ion's useful and fun to play, but against like actual players, Ion is a support character.
Yeah.
Ion is basically just a punching bag to keep the enemy at
You
bay
just
till
keep the enemy weak, so then your teammate can kill them.
You don't even keep
That's-
him weak. You just keep him distracted so your buddy can walk up behind with a tone, target lock him, and go boop, boop, boop. Shoulder launcher, and then they're dead.
Well, you have a shoulder-mounted laser, which is useful to just kind of hit and hit.
The laser is supposed to do more damage to shields, by the way, but
Yeah,
getting shields in that
it's
game
literally
is really hard.
the shoulder-mounted one is more useful for like that's more of a hit and run tactic. Is you poke out, hit them with your laser, and then you dip back and hope your teammate keeps them weak while your laser essentially just one-shots their shields, and then you just take them out. So it's just bang. It doesn't do a ton of damage, but it does enough for your teammates to kind of get the edge. So it's literally just like you depend on your teammates, and you're the support where it's like, all right, your teammate's a Scorch doing a ton of damage and tanking, but you kind of pop in because there's two mechs there, and you just keep kind of tagging them and backing up. And then if they push your buddy, you throw down trip mines, and then you hide again. So then if they keep trying to push your tanky guy, now they can't push him without regretting it,
Hey,
and then your
don't-
tank can just wipe them out.
Yeah, don't forget about Legion. Don't forget about Legion.
Legion is just fucking...
Legion is
Legion is a juggernaut. You just walk up with a minigun and just go brrrr.
Now, for putting to reference here, so you understand what the brr is coming from, it's, I think, the literal same fucking gun the A10 Warthog uses.
The Gal 8.
The Gal 8, yeah. It literally uses the same fucking gun, except it has two alternate fires. It has a shotgun blast alternate fire, where you, as an ability, where you just make it turn into a square and fucking just go brr, boom, and it just shoots out like fucking...
All of Legion's abilities revolve around his gun.
And then his other alt fire is a sniper round. There it shoots a high caliber fucking single shot blast at range, and it's fucking like armor piercing. And it's fucking wild.
Essentially, you're an AC-130 on the ground and in their face,
Yeah,
and you have all three weapons in one weapon. So
And-
you just
and
use your
it's-
abilities to practically cycle through what weapon you're hitting them.
bro, the gun is so. This is literally the fucking A10 Warthog of the mechs, because everything he does is revolves around his gun. His literal only defensive ability, which is a fucking little front shield, appears on the fucking gun.
Yeah.
If Legion loses his fucking gun, he's basically useless. Like, that's what's funny to me.
Your
So,
defense
yeah,
and
it's
your
A10.
offense is your gun.
So
Yeah,
I like
basically
Legion.
18.
yeah. You're all gun. You have like, if I remember right, you have like no speed. You have like 2 stars for DPS and like 3 stars for defense, and you're
He is
literally
an ogre. He's
Yeah.
an ogre class,
you
so he's a big
you
boy.
just stand out there, take hits, and just unleash hell. And if you're getting hit by it, it fucking hurts. But at the same time, like he doesn't have any like defensive perks. It's just like
He has a decent defense because that bubble
his
that front
defense
shield
is
is good. He also
and
has
the
a ton
front
of
shield
health.
can be good, but
But the problem is that lore-wise, I would not fucking use him because he literally is useless if he loses the fucking minigun. A fucking Ronin could walk up and go shika and cut the gun in half, and then he's basically like, "Oh, what do I do?"
then
Nothing.
you're just fist fighting.
Then you're fist fighting a guy with a giant sword and a fucking blunderbuss.
And the edge of the sword is practically a plasma blade. So
It's a fucking giant titanium blade. It's like the most fucking threat. And it's a Guts' sword too.
yeah.
Except imagine if Guts could use the fucking sword like it's a fucking rapier.
It's literally like having a kitchen knife as a sword. Like the back end is literally like just flat, and it's got like a curve to it. It's literally like having a giant kitchen knife.
It's the same shape as an executioner's sword from like medieval times. It's fucking great, and that's what I love about it too. Is it's the literal square-edged fucking executioner's blade, and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense for a mech to fucking wield that in this fucking universe because I don't need it to be sharp. I need it to be like pointy. I need it to be sharp enough to fucking cleave through fucking armor plating and joints on the enemy Titan.
Yeah. So what out of the mechs you saw, which mech did you favor?
Oh, Striker. It was Striker or no. Strider.
Strider.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
That's the lightweight
I
one.
think that's
yeah.
the lightweight one from the first one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the lightweight form is Strider because it goes Strider, Atlas, Ogre,
Yeah.
and fucking I fucking love the design from the original Titanfall 1. I also miss the weapons from Titanfall 1 because one of them is just a giant, it's not a minigun, it's a machine gun with two fucking belt-fed drum mags leading into
If
it.
they ever make Titanfall 3, I would love a skin pack. I don't buy skins in like any game. Maybe Warframe's the exception there, but like any game, I never buy skins. I find it pointless in anything. It's dumb. But I mean, 100%. If they finally make like Titanfall 3, the one thing I would love, steampunk skins. That would
Yeah.
be
I don't
Yeah.
want. I like.
Yeah. That would be sick. Like clockwork
I
fucking
wanna
mechs
make
would
this.
be amazingly cool.
I want to make this very clear. I will only be okay with that. I will only be okay with that if they go into the lore and state that all the multiplayer missions that you go on and do are all augmented reality. Which is why you can be like, oh, well, I augmented my fucking mech to be a steampunk mech.
Yeah.
Because if they actually tell me, no, those are real mechs,
They would call
I'll
it.
fucking drop.
They
the
would
whole
literally
fucking
call it like
series.
training simulator.
Well, that's
Yeah.
what it is in
Yeah.
Titanfall 1 and 2.
Yeah.
In Titanfall 1 it's actually active Warzone because
Yeah.
the lore was the multiplayer, and then they went in 2 and they're like, okay, we can't do that again. That was bad.
Yeah.
That was a bad start. Let's just separate them and make a really good campaign and make a really good and decent multiplayer, and they did. Every single interaction you have in multiplayer is all augmented reality, except for that Frontiers thing, the new versus AI mission
Dude,
thing.
Frontier is so much fun.
Yeah,
Right.
I can't get back into it because I'm slow and old.
And I think the second one I really, find that I would like if I ever did play Titanfall is North Star.
That's the fucking sniper
Yep.
mech, and I fucking
You
love
could literally fly in the air and hover there and just be like, "Fuck off."
that. I
and
think my
shoot somebody
favorite thing
across
is the
map.
hardest enemy boss in the game was literally fucking Viper, who's got the most fucking iconic fucking entry line, and I can't even remember it right now, but it's so great. It's like, Viper 5x5, I got you in my sights. The skies are mine. And it's like and he's just so fucking cool.
I'm
He
pretty
dies
sure
like a
the
bitch.
sniper could also turn invisible to like run around too.
Yeah,
Like the sniper is just agile and good as long as you stand back. Because I mean, if you get caught and then you get
he's also
like
he's a
any
ranger.
kind of beef coming towards you, you're immediately dead.
He's a ranger. One of his fucking main abilities is he just throws out a little suction trap a magnet trap that latches onto Titans, and if they don't pay attention, they get grabbed and they're stuck in a position, and
Yeah.
you can just fly away and go, "Hey, idiot!" Bing, 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 and blast them with your fucking
If you're playing like a Legion,
slug.
you can
railgun.
can just tear through the sniper. But if you're playing like a Scorch, like that's my main is Scorch. I love Scorch so much. Legion, not Legion, fucking
North Star.
North Star is your worst enemy because you're all close range. Your projectiles are just grenade launcher incendiaries. Like every
It's technically a thermite slug that also explodes on impact and then throws thermite on the enemy when it lands.
shit.
It's technically a direct impact /
But
shotgun blast.
Everything is extremely close range, which means if you're fighting a North Star, they'll just keep hammering you, and you can't do anything. Even if you just like fire your weapon into the distance and manage to smack them by the arc, it's not gonna do enough damage to do anything.
Okay, I was looking on here. It says North Star got cluster missiles.
Yes,
Oh, yes.
that's its super. That's its we haven't even talked about all these fuckers' super abilities.
North
He will
Star's
fly in
super
the
is
fucking air and act like a fire jet and just fucking
literally
shoot
just
missiles.
pull out like SAM turrets out of its shoulders and just rapid fire missiles at the enemy.
You can't do that on the ground.
No,
It actively flies into the air to do it. Like you
Oh,
use it
okay.
on the ground and he
Oh,
lifts
okay.
up and then
yeah,
from above.
It's literally like the fire jet of like all the mechs. I fucking love though that its main weapon is just a giant fucking railgun.
Scorch's heat wave makes the least amount of sense, and I love it so much.
What, the fact that it throws fucking
The
gas
fact
out?
that he literally slams his fist on the ground and it just ignites a wave of fucking.
So what I
fire.
understood from the lore is the reason why he can do that is that he basically dumps a storage tank he has on his back of fucking this gas that he has that's highly flammable and explosive, and he releases it in a fucking like wave as he does this and fucking ignites it with his fucking the
shield.
the shield, and when it does that, it just causes the eruption in a line.
Yeah.
And then you could get a perk, one of the perks that's thermite, laces this shit with thermite,
Yeah.
and it leaves a trail of fire in that entire zone, and I love that shit.
Fucking ions is literally, you just go from laser cannon to laser rifle to plasma rifle to just, all right, we have a giant chest laser,
Yeah,
like
Iron
fucking
Man.
Iron Man style, and you just go and
It's literally
it does
Iron Man's
a
Omni
good
Beam.
amount of damage, but it's like it does damage ticks. So you use it and it's like tick 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 damage like that. Where say Scorch's ult is you slam down and when it hits the enemy, it just applies all damage, which means you could just boom and just take out a mech in one shot. Whereas Ion, you literally have to stand there and keep firing, which means you could literally die by using your ult because you're sitting there shooting them.
That's also,
but you could also get shot because you're stuck in place with the chest beam.
Okay.
That's also the problem with North Star, but the even worse part about North Star is that when you fly in the air, you're completely exposed.
Yeah.
So you could be shooting them, and you're like, I'm doing a lot of damage. I'm like, yeah, but then the other
the
North
missiles
Star,
are also long range.
yes, and they also fly really fucking slow.
I believe his is the only one that's like an actual like long range ult too. And
Yeah, but I said, the missiles are still slow.
Yeah.
They're like Legion, whose ult also is the same thing, but instead of flying in the air, he shoots a volley of like mini rockets that are laser guided to wherever he's looking. So you could basically the meta for him is to shoot into the air with the ult and let him fly in the air, and then pinpoint somebody, and the fucking missiles fly at the guy from above where he can't get away from him. Like, oh, I can hide behind the wall.
His are smaller and don't do as much damage, but they're also like seeker missiles. They're like the small ones where it's like pellets, where it's just rapid fire explosions.
One volley can kill any mech.
Yeah. So where the other one is North Stars is more of like the way it's set up is more of it's slow moving missiles because I think the point of it is to cover an area.
Yeah, that's
so you aim it from afar intentionally, and then you kind of just scatter missiles across one area to do area damage.
Yeah.
And I think that's where people go wrong with that is because they're like, oh, I want to use it, but it's only useful close range against single mechs. It's like, yeah, but if you're using it close range, it's a last resort, and you're already going to die. So it's like it's meant for range, carpet bomb a small area to do damage to multiple mechs, because the whole point of North Star is you're dependent on your teammates to be at the front so you can be in the back.
Yeah.
That's the other thing, though. The problem with that is the blast radius of each missile is super fucking tiny.
Yeah.
So you're basically like, I'm blanking an entire area. I'm like, dude, you're going to hit like one big mech in there, and they're all going to look at you and start blasting you out of the fucking sky.
Yeah, but the missiles are slow enough. If you're doing it from a range, your ult's over by the time that they're getting.
Bro, I have played lobbies with some of the fucking like most crazy fucking players ever. The moment you enter fucking like this horizon, you're getting blasted by every Tone, Legion, and fucking like Ion on the map. As soon as you enter the skyline, you're fucked. Yeah. It's over. Because they're just like auto target, and they're not, and I know they're not fucking buying, and like, oh, auto aim. They're just like target, and they just start blasting you out of the fucking sky. It sucks because one of your other abilities as North Star is you could just fly into the air. Because the concept they gave for that is that you can hover over buildings and shoot people when they don't know you're there, and then land back down in safety.
Yeah.
The problem is they don't realize is that basically leaves you open for like 2 seconds for a Tone to go tink tink tink, and then blast you with a volley of missiles.
There's basically no verticality when you're in a mech because the mechs are as tall as the buildings. The verticality comes in when you're the pilot. So most of the verticality is looking down. So when somebody's in the air, there's nothing up there. So it immediately is like a beacon. So the point of it is, since there's very little verticality in the game, they can be smacking you from afar because they're looking down, which is most of the gameplay is looking down at something, while everybody else is still looking down, so you're above their sight line. The problem comes in of you get that first shot off,
they're going to turn,
and then they look up, and there's nothing up there but you, and they're like, you. Which is why you got to make sure when you're doing it, you have your teammates in their face, because then if they look up and see you, well, they also have a scorch in their face, lighting their feet on fire, and it's like, I can't stand here and shoot the sniper, I gotta move out of the fire, and by the time they move out of the fire and look back up, you're out of the air. So it is literally, you can only effectively use aerial attacks whenever you know you have a teammate you're communicating with that is in the enemy's face.
How big are these maps anyway?
Maps range-
Slightly larger than old Call of Duty maps. Not the newer ones are super tiny, a lot bigger.
So
Some of them are kind of small, but they're all typically the same size.
So
Enough space to run around in. And they all have
When-
crowded areas and very open
when-
spots.
okay, when you talking about like a small map, like Call of Duty, big map. What kind of map? Like
the old war maps,
What's the one? Because the one I'm thinking of, you know, the one where it's got the down plane in the middle of it's almost like a canyon.
yeah.
And it's got the
Yeah.
tower up top with the minigun aiming down. And,
Yeah.
Imagine that size, but like that and a half with open area, typically around the outside and more clustered on the inside. But other maps are long instead of circular, meaning, especially with Frontier Defense, where it's like more forward. There's still like different paths, but the maps are almost always set up where it's almost like roadways, where it's not even roads, but it's like obviously
Just
cleared
cleared.
ways that are big enough for the mechs, and then crowded buildings kind of
Okay.
clustered together
So-
where you can run in and out of.
So it wouldn't be something like like Battlefield. I'm saying
No,
Battlefield.
No,
like,
Battlefield maps are bigger.
I've heard speculation, and this is a very big speculation, is that the next Titanfall is supposed to follow in the footsteps of like Battlefield.
That's
and
what
have-
they said, yeah.
And they're supposed to have like huge open combat, with not it's gonna be and I'm not talking about Battlefield of it's gonna be 24 versus 24. No, I've heard they're wanting to do full scale Battlefield 60v60. I want you to understand,
if that
60
happened,
fucking mechs versus 60 fucking mechs would have me fucking shitting, pissing, and coming. And I will say this openly and admittedly, I would shit, piss, and cum if I looked at a fucking game and saw 60 fucking mechs duking it out versus 60 other mechs, and there's just missiles, bullets, and there's just the chaos of Battlefield is. You and I both know the chaos of fucking Battlefield.
I do
now
too.
but the future with mechs, now you have to understand is there's going to be some cycle that goes, oh, I don't want to run my mech and be in my mech. I'm going to give it the fucking AI overcore, or special core, so it's got smart AI, so it can defend itself using its abilities and shit. While I'm running next to it, now you've got 60 mechs and 60 pilots separately murdering each other, and then you could possibly be psychotic and put, what if we put all the little Battlefield AI creatures from fucking the attrition mode on top of this shit. So now you've got all those little guys killing each other, and then there's the little mechs in there, and all the fucking little drones running around, and I'm like, holy fuck, I would. That would be
Hold on, hear me
movie
out.
level.
Hear me out. Huge idea, big brain. If they do Titanfall 3, this could be a really unique and powerful game mode. Versus
Mech
mode,
on.
right? It's treat it like Frontier mode, 4v4.
Yeah.
Difference is there's a line down the middle for the map. You're both defending cores. Difference is there's a timer beforehand. You're allotted a certain amount of money. It goes by rounds, similar to how CS:GO goes.
Yeah.
Only instead of planting a bomb, you're trying to destroy the objective, and you fight each other.
Yeah.
Each wave, you earn money with how many kills. And then in the buy station, yes, you have the normal buys, but you can also buy AIs. So then it drop shifts in the Reapers and shit.
Oh, you can buy
So then you can
reinforcements.
buy reinforcements to attack them. So while they're fighting those, they're fighting those to defend their thing, while also defending from you. But you can't just be aggressive because you're also defending from what they buy, which means they can have their
Technically,
squad come
well,
together and just be like, let's just buy all ticks. And just have that while you're like, let's just get a couple Reapers. And the next thing you know, you have a swarm of ticks coming over the battlefield with 4 mechs behind it and 4 pilots just going at it.
So for clarification, for those who don't know, and clearly DeMarcus, ticks are basically landmines with a brain that charges you.
Think of tickers from
So-
Gears of War,
no,
only they can fly, they're smaller, and they're robotic. What's that
Bro,
movie where it's the AI that's like evil or whatever, where it's like the plague bots, where it's got Jimmy Neutron, I think. I think that's what I'm thinking of, where it's like a spindly thing that's got little spider legs and it's like tall,
Yeah,
and then it's got the
yeah.
thing on top. think of those, but they run at you and explode, and they
So-
can float through the air.
So basically, it's the landmine from StarCraft.
Oh,
I don't know.
Those
I think
So
so.
think
I
of
think
them
so.
when
Think of
somebody-
them as actually like the underwater sea mines.
Yeah,
Think of those, but like the size of like a small soccer ball.
yeah.
Now
So-
imagine giving
Yeah,
them
yeah,
crab
yeah.
legs and them charging at you
Exactly.
full sprint.
Yeah.
That's
That.
what they are.
Yeah.
But they can fly though.
Now,
Yeah, they
When-
jump onto they'll jump on buildings because they could jump high, and when they jump off, they'll like move their legs and like be able to like float for
And
a
hover.
little bit through the
They
air.
can hover.
So
Which means they could just drop down on top of you, and then they can like
they're
one shot
also
pilots.
in the game. They're super quiet.
Oh yeah,
They make
Yeah.
almost no noise. So
like
imagine
the
that.
landmine from
Now
StarCraft.
imagine
Yeah.
it. Now my other problem with this, the only problem with this is, in this game mode, I like the idea if you buy reinforcements to make it fair, it would have to be if they kill your reinforcements, they get money per kill.
Yeah.
exactly.
The problem with that though is if you're being an asshole and the enemy keeps sending you their reinforcements, you can just keep killing the reinforcements and them and get more money than them, and then wait till the fucking last wave, and
But
just send a
no, that's the
metric
thing.
shit
It's on
ton
time.
of
No, no,
stuff
no,
in
It's
there.
not wave.
it's
on
got the
timer.
time in between.
Yeah,
So there's rounds, not waves.
Well,
so it's like
yeah.
CS:GO where you get the money at the end,
that's what I'm
but your
saying.
thing
though.
already got destroyed or it didn't. Which means, but at the same time, if that's the case and you're trying to save your money, you're currently fighting their reinforcements and them, which means
You behind.
they're not fighting anything but you. Therefore, you're behind. If you're skilled at the game, sure you can do that, but at
Yeah.
the same time,
I-
you were going to
bro,
win anyway.
My brother in
So-
Christ, I have seen enough of these fucking
But
players
what
that
I'm
fucking
saying-
no scope, Kraber shot, whip around the corner using grav well.
But what I'm
fucking-
saying is, if
Mach
they
10.
do that, they're going to win either way, whether they have reinforcements or not. So
Yeah.
then the question comes in of, you're saying that, but you got to think, if it's round based, and say the enemy keeps using reinforcements, and they keep losing rounds, and they save their money till the end, yeah, they'll come back that last round with super powerful troops that'll
But
kill
they
them.
still
But
lose.
then it's like, all right, they won 4 to your 1, you lose.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's also my thing of like if you're fighting people that have like, oh, I figured out the meta. This specific Titan is really strong,
That's-
so we all ran this Titan, and then we ran this weapon, and blah 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 blah. And then they're just killing all of your reinforcements, and you guys, they haven't destroyed your thing yet, and they haven't destroyed your beacon yet, and you haven't destroyed theirs, but they haven't sent a single thing, and they haven't done anything clearly with their money. And then the last round shows up, and they literally go, okay, well, I'm going to buy fucking 10 of the fucking grunts. Jerry over there is going to buy 10 of the fucking reapers. And then Jimmy over there is going to buy 10 of the fucking Spectre units, which is like 10 groups of 4 Spectres.
But then that's the thing, if that becomes
then-
the meta,
Yeah.
and everyone decides to do that as the meta,
They would
Yeah.
still
well then
lose.
no one's going to buy reinforcements, then no one
Yeah.
makes money, which
Yeah.
therefore turns into, all right, we
A
just
stalemate.
kill each other and it's
Yeah.
a stalemate.
Yeah.
Then it just becomes a versus to defend your core, which would still be a fun game mode. So no matter
Yeah.
how you slice it,
No, I know.
even if you try and cheese it or something becomes
I'm just
meta,
saying
it
that's gonna
balances
be
itself.
that's what I'm going to say.
But the
that
map,
is-
but the map has to be big enough for it. Like, not either.
Well, yeah, if they're
the
they're
Frontier
wanting,
defense missions, those
they're
maps were
decent-
big enough
they're-
for that.
well, what I'm saying is, if you're already going to do that, right, then you double the size of the normal Frontier. You literally, like, imagine any Frontier map, and then overlay it again, just reverse the other way, and then to where it's just
I mean,
you're doubling
the
it.
Frontier maps would be fine to have like a core on one side and a core on the other.
I feel like
So basically,
I feel like
capture
that'd
the
be-
flag.
would not be capture the flag
No.
because that would be
No, not really capture the flag.
I
but
mean, unless you specifically had to where one pilot had to carry the payload to their thing, like on their back, and make it there to break the shield of the fucking like the barrier
Yeah,
shield
that'd be-
of the core, and then you could fight the core.
Yeah.
if you're doing that,
a
where
capture
like
down-
you carry a payload on your back, I would also say it would be enjoyable to where you could shoot that payload to destroy it, and
Yeah.
they have to get a new one. To where
Yeah.
even if you
Yeah,
don't kill
yeah.
the enemy, you
If-
can kill the payload. they're
Basically,
carrying.
it's like it's a reverse capture the flag, but instead of capturing their flag and bringing it to you, you're
Yeah,
taking your
yeah,
bad
but
flag
your-
to their base, and
yeah,
then,
your
and then-
detonator.
and it-
yeah,
and detonator,
to blow up the
blow
outer
up the
shell.
shield,
Yeah.
shell, armor, whatever you want to call it, of the.
Then we're just talking of a better Overwatch. Change my mind.
Not exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
Yeah,
a better
exactly.
Overwatch.
Well,
Because
but
then you
instead
have a
of-
character carrying it
But then
instead
that's
of
also
literally
you're
just
talking-
jumping on an
but,
objective going
That's
back and
yeah.
forth.
That's
That's
one
what
thing.
I'm saying. We're not pushing an objective.
Yeah.
We're carrying it on your back like a flag and going. Whee!
But
But
that,
then people would just run Ronin and then just fucking.
but that
Yeah,
would be something.
But that's the
you
thing.
could-
When you carry the payload, you can't be in a
Go
mech.
ahead.
but that would be something else instead of having not really different special mechs. You get one mech like
Each player can only select one mech, so you can't have duplicate mechs. I
Yeah,
mean, that would make
one
sense because
style.
that would stop meta from completely taking over. Because I
you
mean,
can't run
Yeah,
fire
there's
but
runs.
I still like what they did with that. I don't want them to be like, oh well, if you only get one pick of one mech, I'm like, bro, that does not sound like
But
fun.
not
I
not
want
like one mech like Ronin whatever. You
One
build
person-
your own mech from scratch.
Oh, you're talking about straight up
Ah.
completely custom built mechs.
Yeah.
God, fuck.
no, because that'll open up a definite meta, and then everyone
No.
would build the same fucking mech and just be like, yeah, you use this, and it's just OP because these two abilities.
Bro, I'm
No,
gonna be
perfectly.
no,
so,
with-
no.
not
So
with
that's
abilities.
what I want to understand.
You like as a player or as a pilot, you have your own not really knowledge of say Scorch. You say you want to build a Scorch, right?
Mhm.
But you don't have say from the get go, from time you start, you don't have nothing to build a Scorch
Mhm.
or the knowledge in
You're
big
talking about unlocking stuff over time, and that's
No,
No.
You
I
actually
think this is yeah.
figure it out. Like basically, you know how some RPGs or whatever, you can build different things, and
They could do it like that fucking Castle Crushers game we
Yeah.
played. That
Yeah,
castle
actually.
game where how you can only equip that certain mech because you've unlocked enough levels to make
Yeah.
it where you're level 5, so you can buy the level 5 mech with all the crazy gear on it. The other thing is, bro, Titanfall 2 got it right and Titanfall 1 got it right of if every fucking thing is OP, as long as they actually make everything OP, nothing is OP. That is how original Titanfall 2
that's
dropped.
just called balance.
Yeah,
Nothing's OP then.
exactly.
Like,
Then you
that's
don't
what
have
I
a
was saying,
meta.
You know,
the
if
only
you
problem
build your
is they
own
just-
mech,
yeah.
you can basically make your own meta. Even say it's a meta out there,
That's
you
the
might
other-
be like,
Yeah.
I'm not up close and personal, kind
Yeah.
of guy, and all the meta is up close and personal.
Yeah.
I can build something, as medium range with nothing but missiles. Oh, anybody up close and personal? You
well, I
ain't gonna
mean, if you have a problem with that, they could also just be like, all right, so
could
everyone's using like these shotgun and melee mechs. So here's what we did. If you have a sniper mech and you have certain sniper abilities or primarily sniper abilities, you can use this one ability that's only used for sniper classes, and it's
Yep.
just a counter move. Where
Yeah.
if you see somebody shotgun or anything, you just press that ability and you just reflect it back and do full damage to them.
Yeah.
I would say more than
I was also thinking of like
75%.
disabler moves. Like I like
Yeah.
the idea of like if you're gonna be like
EMP or something like that.
EMPing or like you could fire out tethers that stun the enemy and then you can fly away from them and get away from them.
Yeah.
But God no, fuck that sounds awesome.
But yeah, I would say
I want them to add in one thing, and this is a thing I wanted to add to this
Okay.
fucking game, or in this lore. I want them to take a pump action shotgun. I want them to scale it up to a 105 fucking Bofa cannon. And I want that to be a fucking thing. It's just a fucking. But I want it to be like
these nuts.
both of these nuts. I want
so.
yeah.
Basically, you taking a freaking shotgun.
Tank. I want to take a shot. The
not
shotgun
a
furniture around a fucking tank cannon.
It's not. That's one. A tank cannon is not really big.
No, it's not. Well, yeah, maybe not a tank cannon. You're right. I want bigger than a tank cannon.
You
I
want
want.
you want a
the
cannon
old.
cannon.
You want the old destroyers like from the.
Yeah, I want.
Illinois
No, you're
and
right.
stuff.
I want the fucking the USS Missouri fucking literally the fucking destroyer can
18-inch
fucking yeah the 18-inch fucking barrel.
think so? 100 pounds.
You just need a cannon
Yeah, and I
that
want
you
that
literally
fucking-
just
No.
stuff like a
No.
blunderbuss.
No,
and just
no,
fucking-
no, no. That's the thing. I
Hey,
want it to have shells.
I got a question.
I mean,
What's the biggest cannon y'all know?
fuck, what's the one? It's at a castle. It was the biggest cannon ever
made. It
and
fired
it
once and then
fired
blew up.
once and completely shattered because it was just not meant to
Bro,
be
I
fired.
wanted to.
It was
I
a
wish I was there.
ceremonial cannon.
No, it wasn't. They used it for warfare once, and it fucking exploded.
No, it was
wasn't
ceremonial because it was a gift to the king because of his wedding, and it didn't. And it took him
That's
so
right.
long to show up. It literally came like 7 years later or 14 years, something crazy
Holy
like
shit.
that. Yeah, and it showed up, and he was like, "Oh, it finally made it." And then they like fired it one
Basically
time,
went Muzzle Tov, boom,
and then the fucking thing like
exploded
cracked all the way down. And then they were like, "Well, we're not using that again."
Okay.
But cool thing.
Dude,
How
I would
well
have fucking loved to have been there for that, to see that thing go off and just launch a fucking ball. I would have fucking, dude, God. I was born in the wrong generation.
There-
I was
there
born
is-
in the wrong
there is a
timeline.
cannon that's big enough that
Let me guess,
shoots
it's
how?
a German.
Actually, yeah.
Called it.
Called it.
The railroad train, the cannon.
Oh.
Oh,
fuck no.
Gustav. Like a fucking Gustav. Yeah.
The railroad.
Yeah, the thing literally meant to fucking. It was literally big enough to fucking blast from Germany
Oh
to
my
fucking
god, I
Britain.
just thought about something dope as
But-
fuck.
What?
What if they had a Titan where it was literally a scarab from Halo? Just
Oh,
fucking
fuck you.
all four
Fuck you.
turtle cannon on the back, just fucking.
Bro, then we stop getting. Bro, no.
But-
That's
But
cool
to
and
be
all.
honest, that could be the sniper.
Yeah.
However, I would like the idea of that being not a mech, but just a vehicle that you could get in Battlefield or in Titanfall 3.
Huh, Battlefield.
Like how in Battlefield 5 you could like requisition like
The
vehicles.
fucking trains.
You could requisition a fucking Scarab mech that has a giant fucking cannon on its back, and you could have it. And
Oh my god, no. If they do the 60v60 mech battles,
Yeah.
what if we do it where, like, it's Star Wars Battlefront 2 style, original Star Wars Battlefront 2 style, where there's drop ships you can land and shit, and because the ships you come in to spawn at, your spawns, you could spawn out of those, and then they have the Scarab mech where multiple people sit on it to get on different guns, and it's like Halo where, like, you could walk around on it, and have like mechs supporting it, and it becomes a mobile spawn point.
So
I would
yeah.
fucking come.
There's one on each team. They can be destroyed, and it's got like a set timer, like the Battlefield 1 timer, where like, oh, you're losing, so your team gets this massive ship that comes out and just is artillery bombing
For the last
coast.
like 20 minutes.
Yeah. So then it's like that.
But I would say for something like that, you need like a sniper support, because I would say that's for that class.
That's what the giant cannon is on it. It's
I'm-
just
I'm-
like, hey,
no,
there's a
I'm-
mech.
no.
Boom, one
I'm-
down.
I'm saying for as an overpower, that's for that one class. That's only person who can call it in.
No. This is like a team item where like
yeah,
you
yeah.
hop in it to pilot
no,
it, but
that's
it
what I'm
has
saying.
multiple
That's
pilots.
what I'm saying the sniper supports call it in, but it's for the team.
Back to what I was like. This fuck. I just wanted to talk about like this gun I have in my mind for the mech to use.
Go ahead.
Basically, it's this fucking. The barrel is the diameter is as large. It's basically from here to here on my fucking forearm. So like.
He's measuring his forearms for y'all can't see.
Yeah. I got. How long do you think that is? Fucking
About
2 feet.
2.5 feet.
Two and a half feet. Fucking radius
I
barrel.
don't know. Let me pull out my cock real quick.
Just fucking.
Mine's bigger.
That's not fair. Anyways, fucking. No,
Really having a measuring cock contest.
anyways, no, we're not doing that. Anyways, I don't want to lose. This isn't fair. Anyways, no, fucking bro. Now imagine this fucking shotgun, and I've decided I don't want to be a fucking psycho and have it fucking. Oh, the top is the barrel that fires, and the bottom's like a normal, genuine shotgun where it's bomb loading. No, I want the fucking 8-gauge shotgun style from fucking Halo. Top loader, fucking chunk, chunk, chunk. But it's like Carnage. It's shaped like the Carnage from fucking Cyberpunk 2077.
I'm
But
thinking like
you
this
can-
too.
Make it an AA-12 then.
no,
Automatic shotgun.
I want I want a barrel drum barrel.
No, it's
I want a pump
no,
because I want it to be a fucking massive cannon. I don't want it to.
It will be a
Bro, the
mech.
drum will be fucking so ungodly heavy.
No,
You're talking a mech.
Yes, I know.
Yes, even for a mech, that would be fucking heavy.
Actually,
I
it
don't
won't.
want.
I got a
catch
better idea. We just strap an AA gun to the fucking shoulder of the...
I was actually thinking like that could be an ability. You just have a flat cannon. 'Cause
We're
you're gonna have
already
flying
talking
machines.
war crimes, so you might as well have two
But
flat
that's the-
cannons on the shoulders of a mech.
That's what I want to talk to you guys about for like the ammo for this fucking shot pump, giant fuck off pump shotgun. It's like, do we want fucking fletching in this thing or fletching where it's shooting fucking railroad spikes out of it?
I would say Cybos.
Or do we
Cybo.
Cybos?
Yeah, Cybo round. Basically.
Oh, Sabo.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh fuck. Oh, dude.
Armor piercing.
Discarding Sabo. Oh fuck. Armor piercing AP. 8. Fuck. I don't know.
Armor piercing.
Dude, I haven't played War Thunder in forever, and I know they got like the acronyms for all the.
Oh shit!
There it goes. It's over.
No.
He fell
Give
in.
me. Get back in.
It's broken.
He disconnected the corner. How did you even
I
do
don't
that?
know.
The
Dude,
chair
bro.
has a broken arm.
Oh my god. Don't.
It's armor piercing.
Blame David.
Actually, I could.
You fuck. Anyways, armor piercing.
I feel like it's more amazing that it just now went out.
What APHE fucking
Yeah.
explosive.
High.
That's the other thing. I was just wanting to have a high explosive option, and then a quote unquote buckshot option, and then like after.
What are you doing? I'm going duck hunting. For what?
What?
The entire flock?
Flock. I'm gonna go for the entire gene pool. I want to remove that species of fucking duck off the face of the earth with this one blast.
Did the bolt fall out?
Yeah, it disconnected. I think the bolt or whatever connected
Way to
it fucking
go.
flopped out.
Way to go.
I also actually no, that's
Dude,
not a bolt. That's a fucking just a
That's
divot
just the
connect-
connector.
That's a divot connector. How'd you?
All right.
All right,
Dude,
anyways.
I don't know. I have no idea. We'll have to figure that out after.
Yeah.
It's getting about time to wrap up.
All right.
You gotta pick
wrap
a
up.
winner.
Honestly, no.
No,
No.
where's that from?
It
Is that
didn't
from
have
you?
a. It doesn't have a
Just set
bolt.
that up there.
Yeah, set it up there. I don't.
Who knows with this? All right.
I'm gonna sit on the ground while I post for yet.
Okay.
The
Okay.
dog bed's in the corner if you want.
Okay. We're not doing this. This is racially insensitive. Let's not.
I feel
do
like
this.
the last podcast, he was the one wearing fucking cat ears the entire episode.
And sitting in a dog bed.
Anyways. Well, I would say you had the most reviews.
Well, yeah.
So
comparative to 0, I'd say. Yeah.
Hey,
yeah, I could just talk about this shit forever and talk about like my
Always.
takes on everything, and I
Yeah.
fucking love it, dude. I still fucking like. I still want to know what they have. I want them to fucking actually be like cornered in a fucking like booth and be like, okay, how do pilots shit in their mechs? And just look at them and go, what? Yeah, no. How do the pilots like handle like multiple
Are these
day
your
long
closing
treks?
thoughts?
Yes, I want to corner
Closing
one of the,
thoughts. Where do we shit?
Yeah, where do we shit in the mech, bro? How do you shit in the mech? Do you just shit your pants in the mech and then wait to wipe? Like, dude, or is it like
You're
a,
wearing pilot armor. Wait,
No.
you said you go like mind numbing in this. Is that like
But you
full
can-
on like your brain shuts down and your
Eh,
body just goes relax? And just
well, no, your
vomits shit out?
brain. No, I don't really know if it's fully your brain leaves your body or however it is, but you neurally sync with the mech, the Titan, to control it. But you can also relinquish control and then be inside the mech and maneuver around inside the mech while it's doing shit. I'm assuming to like, oh shit, hey, I got inside. You cover me while I fucking relocate my fucking shoulder. And
Hold
fucking,
on,
like,
Scorch. I got swamp ass. I need to wipe this up real quick.
You're too
I'm
hot.
chafing.
well, it's more like, oh hey, I'm digging a bullet out. Cover me while you're in there. Oh,
Yeah.
or like, all right, we just finished the mission. Here, you walk. I'm gonna get some food because I haven't fucking eaten. And you go over and you set your fucking plate down, or you set your fucking like reheatable fucking noodles down.
MREs.
Noodle,
Oh, I love them MREs.
dude. I want to imagine what I want to know what the space MREs taste like. Do we got like spaghetti? Do we
I
got
can go
fucking?
get you. I can bring you some.
No, I mean in this universe. I want to know what they.
I was like, space
What's-
MREs aren't terrible.
No. I mean, like in this universe, I want to know what they like. What would you think that the pilots have as MREs in their fucking mechs? Like, do they have like flavors, or is it just literally like
They just got spicy hot Cheetos in a compartment above their head.
bro? Dude, no.
See?
I guarantee fucking dude.
I ain't even been in the military, and I know
yeah,
this shit.
yeah, no, dude, you'd be
Yeah.
looking, you fucking crawl in there like, what's that compartment? Watch, king, and it fucking disconnects and opens up, and it's just like a
No, for real.
rack of fucking
Here,
Cheetos.
I
and
don't know
fucking-
enough about it, but I know of it. What's the fucking makeshift shop they put up that the soldiers run themselves to make money off of? They
the-
literally just staff it with a bunch of like ramen and shit like
I
that.
forget what it's called. I know
Oh,
a couple
shit.
people on YouTube that do this that talk about
Yeah.
this. The I almost called it the slop, but it's not called the slop. It's like the shop.
No,
the
that's
chef.
the food they get fed. I'm talking about
the
the
chef-
snacks that they sell. You know what I'm talking about, though.
I
Yeah.
just can't remember the name.
Yeah, I know
to be
there's
honest.
like
They
there's
just
like
come up with like makeshift snack shacks, and
Yeah.
they're like, "Yep, let's go."
yeah, when people
that-
and I know that I've even heard horror stories of people fucking with those and like being like, I'm gonna fuck with the guys running this shit, and they've like
Yeah.
those people woke up like the next day with like limbs broken. Like it's dude, the fucking army don't fuck around when you fuck with their food.
Dude,
Nope.
hold on.
To be honest, no military is fuck.
Dude,
if
you
you
fuck
cut
with
the
their food, they'll fucking kill you.
Yeah.
It's
They'll
only,
eat you
it's-
in replacement
even-
for the food they
granted,
lost.
granted, I was in the Navy. Most 4 things you don't fuck with. Don't fuck with Doc. Don't fuck with anybody who got any kind of religion. You don't want to mess with those because that might be your last thing you pray about.
You learn to pray by the time they're done with you.
Don't mess with basically any Red Cross, which is still Doc
Yeah.
or civilian, you know.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with animals. Kill an animal out, you know,
Yeah.
no reason. We gonna, you know,
Yeah.
at least for me.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last one, but
Don't fuck with my beef jerky.
Don't fuck with the food. Yeah,
dude.
where's
Yeah,
the food?
Yeah,
Food.
It's like, bro, the food. Like that would
like if to me,
Don't get left at port.
don't.
that's your fault.
Yeah, you get left
Bro,
at port because you were
figure
drunk
it
and
the fuck out. Yeah,
if
you
Chief
figure it the
don't
fuck
bring
out,
you back.
dumbass.
But it was more like if you don't,
if you're in a foreign country, don't
Don't.
hook up with the hooker.
Never go to shore, dude. I even know that you don't go when you go to shore leave. You don't just try and find fucking pussy or a fucking hole wherever you can find it. You're gonna end up fucking coming back with the clap and giving the rest of the fucking crew something.
Look at this man. He's
That's what you
like,
got the
bro,
dock
that's
for."
half what they. Yeah, he's like, bro, they come to us.
Exactly my fucking point. Don't
It's
come
like
for that.
it's like lot lizards for truckers, except for it's
Yeah.
just at the docks.
that's, but that's why.
That's how you end up
That's-
with every fucking disease
and
in
that's-
that country coming back with
and-
you.
Oh, it's the last one. Don't fuck with the Coast Guard,
Who gives a fuck about the Coast Guard?
You'd be surprised.
dude. Coast Guard are fucked.
Oh well, they are.
I know a couple Coast Guard men because I when I worked childcare, fucking one of them came in. Dude was a beefy motherfucker, and let me tell you, you could tell he'd kill a man over a wrong look.
I mean, I guess they do fuck around with have to deal with fucking cartels all the time.
Yeah.
So they probably don't give a shit.
Coast
Isn't
Guard
that-
are used to, all right, open fire.
Just sink them. Fuck it. I don't care. I want to get home for lunch.
Coast Guard, for me, don't get me wrong, it's just not like the Air Force. Don't get me wrong, Air Force is
Everybody fucks with the Air Force because all they do is go click click and then the guy dies and they're like, oh my god, I'm like, bro, I get it.
I
You
do
fought-
click click.
You fought, yeah.
Yeah,
but
he goes
except-
click
okay.
click on a computer, and then all of a sudden you just evaporate a
Yeah.
whole area.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Sorry, no. The Air Force goes click click and then 1,000 people die
Try a couple million
Well,
if they really want to.
if they really wanted to.
They can bring the nukes.
Yeah, well, they do bring
Fucking-
nukes. A majority of that, and the
I
only
knew,
two that do that is the Navy and the fucking Air Force.
Well,
Yeah.
I knew a submarine. He was a submarine engineer. He was
A
working
subber.
in tabs. Yeah, and let me tell you, his experience on it. He was like, dude, I loved it, but I fucking hated it because he loved his job and like working on it and everything, and he thought it was really cool. But also the cramped space in there and just the constant things they got to deal with.
Yeah.
Bro, he was telling me about the plumbing that they had to deal with. Let me tell you, you don't want to. Oh,
That's one thing. Don't get me wrong. Every military branch got their own firefighter, squad.
yeah.
The Navy. I'm not saying we're built different from say the Army. If something happens in the Army, they can take
Yeah.
care of it. we're basically alone out in the middle.
Yeah,
Of
there's
nowhere.
not really support. You get your care package here and there from
Yeah.
someone bringing it in, and that's
But
about
at the
it.
same time, say the army is in a foreign country,
Yeah,
they not
there's still stores and shit
Yeah.
you can go to. There's still supply runs that can happen.
yeah
You guys are more of like, all right, we stock up, and then we got to kind of wait and
6
hope the
months.
weather's fine for them to
6
bring
months.
out.
Yeah, shit, we land in hurricane weather.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's when.
Shit,
Yeah.
if something happens in a tornado or hurricane weather out in the middle of the sea, you think somebody gonna stop a missile?
Yeah.
You think that gonna stop a missile? No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On top of
half the time they're using that to their advantage to fucking attack.
well, fucking submariners, dude, they'll be down there. Like, they live on that submarine for a couple years at a time.
yeah.
I think 6 months at a time at a
Yeah.
year they come back to
They
come up to
Yeah.
to get
shore
food.
leave.
Not really shore leave.
No, it's
well,
literally,
for-
they come up for, like, resupply, like,
Yes,
every 6
that-
months, but
yeah.
you live in it for, like, a couple years
Yeah,
at a
but
time.
the people in the submarines have to get out because
No.
like they have psychological like issues if they don't.
They-
a lot of times.
Not always.
No,
Well, a lot of
A lot
times
of the
they
time,
request
they're-
like, "Hey, I need to get the fuck out of here before I fucking eat one of these people."
no, because
Out
that's
of,
one thing.
of enjoyment,
They
not
they
necessity.
have like small rec rooms.
Yeah, we try to
where
keep our mind.
yeah, it's rec rooms that have more of like not like literal puzzles, but like mind puzzles and
Yeah.
like chessboards and shit, and
Something
like
that keep us busy.
it's literally stuff to keep your brain thinking.
About
Like
something.
that's why, at least I don't know 100%, but at
Bro,
least
you
from
can
my
only- you can
experience,
unless they're-
submariners are usually the more intelligent types.
Yeah, don't get
Because
me wrong, they are.
yeah.
They have to be. They're running fucking
Yeah.
bajillion-dollar equipment.
yeah, like they're the smarter ones of the lot that kind of have to like constantly stretch their mind, or they will go psychotic.
But I'm just saying, you can only solve the same 15 or 20 mind puzzles and play chess with everybody.
That's why
So
they
many
fuck
times
with
till they
each
go,
other
like-
so much. Because
So you fucking snap, and then suddenly they walk in. and you're
what's
eating
the
a woman's
scheduling
leg.
for radars again? Because it's like hours on end, and then they kind of just tap out every
Uh,
here and there, and they
Basically,
cycle.
I think usually we can do 12 hours. Even I'm like I said, I was an aircraft engineer,
Yeah,
so usually we do 12 hours, off for a day, or
yeah,
technically we're never off.
yeah. You're quote unquote off radar shift for like a day to kind of
Yep.
just recover from it. But
Yeah.
for the most part, you literally do 12-hour shifts of sitting down and watching radar spin
And listen.
and listening, and that's it. You just hear bong.
I just
bong
realized.
for hours on end.
I just realized something. You know that scene in Call of Duty Ghosts where you're going underwater to chase after that submarine and blow it up with a fucking little missile?
Yeah, vaguely. Yeah.
You would have fucking died well before, like, by the time you would have seen the fucking submarine.
Yeah,
because they would have
it's an air capsule. It would
No, they would
literally-
have. No. They would have went bing and ping
No,
that
no.
sonar and would have blew your fucking
No,
brains
that's
out.
that's one thing. Subs don't use active sonar all the time. They use a passive sonar.
Yeah.
They don't.
So basically, everybody talking about how sonar kills things in the
Yeah,
water.
it does. It does.
But
It don't have. They only use active sonar if something is actually chasing.
The
them.
thing is the way
so
sonar.
active sonar only pings when we are like basically when you're like, oh, we're in combat.
Yeah.
Active.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's always passive.
Because
Oh,
if I remember right, active sonar, you're actively sending out like
signal.
sound waves to hit things, and since everything in the open ocean communicates via sound waves,
You
it's
can-
as if you're sound blasting their ears, and you can fry their brains. From
Yeah.
it.
Well, yeah, that's it, bro. The sound waves in the water vibrate.
amplified,
Yeah,
yeah.
and they vibrate your organs and your fucking
Yeah,
internals
so
explode.
you could literally like
Get
kill.
That's why like
technically
beluga whales.
microwave
Yeah.
Well,
from sound.
Yeah, when you do that and there's whales out there, the whales' brains fucking explode, and so their internal
Yeah.
organs.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't know it until you actively like get hit
Yeah.
by something, then you
Yeah.
turn that shit on.
Yeah.
So, because I think the passive, it's like a low frequency signal
No,
that
you
only
don't-
picks up on certain objects.
Passive. Only thing passive is you just basically listening.
Yeah,
You're listening
You're
to what's
listening for
going
the
on.
sound
Okay, yeah,
around
yeah,
you.
yeah. So you're
That's
listening
why-
to weird noises in the water. Like you hear a certain sound, and it's like, oh, that sounds like a rudder
From a boat.
mixing
Yeah.
water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Say-
that sounds like That sounds.
That
Oh,
sounds like something
was that-
broke the layer
sir,
of
is
the water.
that a pot? Sir, is that a pot of whales or a submarine like 1,000 feet behind us?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're
Fuck 1,000 feet.
well,
Miles.
well,
Yeah,
miles
you're-
behind
yeah.
us. Is that a boat, sir?
Because it's literally pinging, and there's certain sounds where it's literally like you'll just randomly hear like suddenly like the water tension break on the surface, and you're like, oh, there's a boat somewhere in the vicinity near us. And then can't you like pinpoint it? Like you can aim
Yeah.
to try and direct. Yeah.
Within like 360. Usually, I'm not even saying usually. How I've thought about it, you can sweep 360 degrees. The only thing that's gonna be hard. I don't know any if this true or not. If it's harder to hear behind you, because granted you got your own prop and making weights behind you,
Yeah.
but everything else you can hear.
Yeah. So you have essentially a blind spot cone
Yeah.
behind you, but isn't that why they also have times where it's like, hey, I think I hear something, shut it down, and then you go silent?
That is silent.
Yeah.
No matter because a nuclear submarine is silent. That's why how I'm not 100% basically do zigzags and up and down whatever just to see if anything was behind them.
Okay.
Just like
So it's kind of just you move enough to tell if something was
Yeah.
behind you, you would kind of pick up on it because there'd be this constant humming.
or
Yeah.
a wake or
Yeah.
splashing.
And
or,
then obviously if it's behind you for a set amount of time, it's like, okay, this has been back there for a minute. I don't think it's a fish.
yeah. If you think about it, if anybody's seen
Hey, Commander, I think this fucking whale's been following us for like the past like 2 hours. And it was like, what?
like have you ever seen The Hunt for Red October? Have you seen that movie?
No.
No, I'm not 55.
Yo, you just gonna call him like that?
It's not that old.
I know, but you are.
No, he's not.
At least I don't look like no. At least I still don't have no gray hairs.
Yeah.
Hey.
Bro, I'm surprised you don't with the shit you have to put up with at work.
Yeah, I just don't stress about it.
Lies.
Lies.
It doesn't come out in his hairs, it comes out in his chest.
Yeah.
Way hairs on my chest.
It ain't the hairs, it's the fucking heart behind the fucking rib cage.
Fuck all y'all.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Every hour at work is another heartbeat
Yeah, the rest-
skipped.
The rest,
Yeah.
the rest of us just push our stress out into our externals, to our fingers and hairs and shit. And you're just like, I'm gonna condense it all into my heart till it fucking explodes.
That's not that far off.
That's what the monster was for, is to help
Yeah.
it keep pumping.
Bro was running. Bro was like liquid cooling his heart with a fucking monster a day.
3.
Three monsters a day.
Look, habits picked up from the military.
Caffeine, nicotine, pissed off anger.
Hey.
Jesus.
But let me decide. Speaking of work,
Yeah,
Yep.
we'll wrap up. Yeah, so, alright, I think you declared me as the winner.
Yeah, because like I didn't really have a review other than like for the ogre class because I like the idea of just
the ogre class.
I like my big beefy meat walls of fucking destruction that every fucking game makes of like, oh, there's always the light, there's the medium, and then there's the heavy.
Yeah.
I hit really hard and I can take a lot of damage. I just don't move
I
fast.
just thought about this. The heavy, the medium, the light.
Pretty much.
Perfect squad. We should play some finals at some point.
Yes. Bro,
Um,
I want to play the heavy and I want to go through a fucking wall like Kool-Aid Man and grab a fucking
Oh,
light by the neck
yeah.
and shake him.
Alright, so to wrap this up here, my next topic is probably going to be Proto Pets from Ratchet and Clank, because, God, that just sounds like fun.
I hate you.
Why you hate me?
Because he doesn't know what the fuck
I
that
do.
is.
No, he does.
I do.
You just don't like him?
I
Furby, space
To be-
Furbies on meth.
To be
Pretty
fair,
much.
it's been a
It's been a minute. Yeah, you're going to have to refresh.
Like, I think when I finished playing Ratchet and Clank, it was still on the PS3.
Was that up your arsenal? Or was that,
no, that's
nuts-
Going Commando.
Yeah.
Going Commando, that's right. Going Commando.
I think it was
Get naked.
PS3.
If you got a PlayStation and you have the Max package, it is free to play.
Yeah. Yeah, I have that on PlayStation 2. I wouldn't fucking put that on my PS5 and fucking you paid me to. I want to fucking sully that shit.
Dude, I
Give me the
fucking-
fucking PS2 any day.
I still have it. I have the actual disc and my PlayStation 2 in
Yep.
there. But wrapping up, if you want to see more of me personally, I have at least one more podcast in the works. The other ones I'm still kind of getting together. So if you want to check that out, that'll be called Rated B for Everyone. It'll be on the same platforms. I'll let that kind of solve itself if you guys want to check that out. You can also find me on YouTube at Plagued Crow.
Is that rated B for Bussy?
No,
Rated B for bitch.
it's B movies, so budget films and shit.
I like that.
I won't be on that one.
Look, everyone's like,
Come on,
no,
come
no,
on,
no,
come on, come on.
That is me and
Shit.
my wife's only. That
Okay,
that is her podcasting.
Damn.
I want to send some information y'all way.
Okay. But so that's gonna be a podcast. Check it out. Check me out on YouTube if you like watching indie games, or else you just want to see some funny content on occasion. I do funny moment videos sometimes. So check me out at Plagued Crow. You can find me on Twitch. We do stream the podcast group. We haven't done it in a while, but we stream on occasion. We usually stream Back for Blood, and some other things to just have a grand time.
We'll hopefully in the near future be moving on
Be
to
back.
Pal World and the finals and
Oh yeah, there'll be
A
more
few
content
others.
to come. We might start we might post some of those live streams on our YouTube channel for this podcast. We do have a YouTube, but we haven't done much with it. It just uploads. But you can find me on Twitch at plagued_crow. I don't get on Twitter much, but if you guys want to reach out or get in contact or anything like that, I believe it is also plagued_crow. You could recognize me by my mascot. Whoa, what was that? You can recognize me by my mascot. It is literally just a tiny chibi plagued crow. It's adorable with its purple little eye. I will be doing face cam soon. If you want to see what I look like, so catch me over there if you guys want.
you're not gonna go full VTuber.
No. I'm still keeping the mascot, but I want to get more personal with my audience and kind of go that route.
That's fair.
So, DeMarcus, have you touched on any of your stuff, or do we want to wait for calling out more of that until you kind of get the power issues solved?
Let me get my power issues solved and everything else on my computer. But most of my stuff either on TikTok, Deadman X13, or Twitch is also Deadman13.
Okay. So when he does post on TikTok still, but
Yep.
we haven't done much live streaming on that because the power at the place you're
Yeah.
staying just can't handle your gaming PC.
Yeah,
Can't handle the absolute girth of his power demand.
Yeah.
yeah.
So, if you want to check out, we do occasionally. I have an Etsy store just kind of as a side project where I do punny shirts and stuff like that. It's also under Plague Crow, or you can find the store name of Birds of a Feather. We do have a little bit of podcast merch on there. If you guys want anything extra from that, reach out. I make the custom designs myself, and it's a print on demand, so I can literally do stuff that you guys want if you have favorite phrases or anything that we've said on the podcast. Last but not least, I am planning on potentially setting up a Discord or some kind of communication soon so you guys can talk to us and so you guys can communicate, speaking that we are in different countries,
yeah.
that we have fan bases. So yeah, I'd say that's about it. Is there any closing statements, David, outside of your normal?
You can find me out there in
No.
the world.
No.
Come find me. I dare you. Do it. I need fertilizer. My wife's gonna start growing herbs again. So
All right.
come on.
So he's our residential wild man redneck out in the boonies. So
I would not say redneck. I am suburbanite I am the guy instead of being raised by wolves. The wolves were raising me. I left to go into the suburbs and then I got picked up by a family. That's what I'm
He's the stray.
the stray wild dog that went. Yeah, I'm gonna go back to civilization. Bye, fellas, and then I stayed there. I like my coffee. I like raised by rednecks, but
He likes his internet. Don't let him lie.
Yeah, I like my internet. Porn's
It's
pretty,
for porn.
porn's pretty good. Porn's pretty good.
All
The
right.
rest of it could go. Porn's pretty good.
Well, I guess
I got
that'll
to
do.
do it.
So, bye, everybody. Once again, shout out to everyone in the States listening to us. Shout out to Belgium for being actually a pretty decent-sized fan base. And then for our other fan bases in Germany and France,
Guten Tag.
well, we've discussed it before. DeMarcus is German, so, give him a shout-out. How much German do you still know, by the way?
Guten Tag.
Barely any. That's right. I thought so. He's been in America a while.
Yeah.
he was raised over here for many years.
Yeah,
Missed
Wait.
the homeland.
I do.
Yeah.
Even though I don't remember it, but still.
Well, you vaguely called out some things you've said before,
Yeah,
but for the
but-
most part,
But at the same time, it's like you.
it's so faint. Yeah.
Getting old sucks.
Since we're talking about age, guess our ages and see what happens.
Don't guess my age. I don't want to.
I want to see what you think our ages are. We'll come up with ways to do that. I will be setting up other social media accounts for the podcast. You can email us. Let's see here. I want to make sure, because our emails should be simple. I believe it's just fantasyandreview@gmail.com.
I would say just
I can't wait for half of them people guessing my age to be like, oh, he's like 18. The other half's like, no, dude, he's like 45. I can't wait for everybody to just
Right.
fucking not even know.
How about this? Message, I guess, between me and you
Well, I
are
mean-
TikToks.
Well, yeah, I'm still setting up my
Uh,
TikTok for my
okay.
YouTube, but that's what I'm saying. If you guys have reviews of your own that you come up with or that you found about different objects and stuff, we are considering doing episodes of reading out your reviews as well. So as the fan base grows and we kind of pick up some more reviews that you guys either create or find, we'd love to hear it. Once again, I believe it is fantasyandreview@gmail.com.
We are?
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
And
We discussed it before.
if you want,
Bro, I'm
I would say
holding a blank.
you can send me, them personally too, on my TikTok or, yeah.
Either way,
You know
if
what?
you
Just
guys-
find me. Just come find me and tell me what your review, and then I'll try to remember it as best I can.
Yeah,
Do it.
yeah, okay.
Do it. I
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
dare you.
Either way,
Come visit Belgium. I dare you.
This
Fucking
is-
fuck-
I love
fuck around
Belgium.
and find out.
this is Fantasy and Review signing
Signing
off. Have a good one, everybody.